We good? Well, welcome back to another episode of the DipdNWhipd Podcast. Mm-hmm. I'm your host, Hoff with the sauce, and my dog.
Triple Clef Health, man. Young Hefe, man. We in the building.
And we got a familiar face back in his mug. My boy Skinny Mars back in the building.
Skinny.
Sir.
This time,
I'm here.
You know, my dog here with us, so we're going to have a great conversation. You know what I mean?
Here for it.
We're going to have a great conversation. As you can see, we come to do this thing as we call DipdNWhipd, and we always got to stay DipdNWhipd. But we got to start with some icebreakers all the time. So let's start with an icebreaker. Let's see. Icebreaker. Let's do. Okay. Let's do something that's sports related. We all play sports. You know what I mean? We ain't talk about sports on here in a minute. I need your top three. Your top three. Well, you played corner in high school. Your top three corners, top three receivers, top three linebackers. All time.
Dion.
Hey, Dion, man.
Prime time. Cole.
Stop messing with this mic, please. Can't fix it.
I like Richard Sherman, bro. Like Richard Sherman.
Okay.
And who else? I know those two good. Dion, great. Who was another corner, bro? I can't really say another corner. Me personally, I liked Ed Reed, free safety.
Okay.
So like, that's what I really.
DB though. So
yeah,
DB,
that's where
DB.
I really want to play that in high school, but shit, I guess I just was sorry or something. I don't know. Guess that's what it was. They didn't want to put me here.
Really fucking with me like that.
They wasn't fucking with me. I was like, shit.
Y'all had some dogs in y'all class though.
What about
linebackers? Mm-hmm. What about linebackers?
I ain't gonna lie to you. Ray Lewis.
Yeah,
Ray Lewis.
Okay.
What about y'all?
About you? I was going linebackers for you.
Linebackers?
Yeah, linebackers for you.
I got Ray
Corners,
Lewis.
And I go receivers.
I got like all-time greats.
Yeah.
All right. Got Ray Lewis, Bobby Wagner, Patrick Willis.
Okay, P. Will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you want to go a little outside linebacker, we got Vaughn.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We got. I ain't gonna say
they're more hybrids though now.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna leave it at that three. Yeah.
So you got
Von Miller, Ray Lewis, and Patrick Willis.
Damn.
That's nice, though.
I ain't mad at that. I'm surprised you didn't say LT.
Who?
Lawrence Taylor.
That nigga. You on that booger sugar.
He was a dog though.
Hello, Brian.
Facts.
I guess for me, as far as like receivers, of course, it's a toss up for me between Jerry and Randy because you got the statistics of saying Jerry is a dog. You know what I mean? But Randy was in his prime. Randy was different.
Monster.
Bro. Randy was different. So I'll go.
Most definitely.
These are my favorites. My top three. I'll do Randy. I'll do Jerry, and then I'll do one that people probably don't talk about a lot.
I'm trying to see who he was going to say.
T.O.
I knew you was going to say it. I thought he was going to say it.
I thought he was going to say Odell.
No, he's not top three. No, he's not top three.
He one of your favorites, but
he's definitely my favorite.
Okay, you're not biased.
Yeah, he's definitely my favorite.
I was waiting on like Jarvis.
Oh no, I've never been like when it comes to like sports. I'm all about facts. I'm never like I'm biased to an extent.
T.O. a good pick.
T.O. was a dog.
Bad receiver.
They try to like diminish him and try to but
T.O. ain't never did anything besides be passionate about the game. And that was my biggest problem was like a lot of these passionate receivers get quoted, divas, but when they losing, you want a motherfucker to be happy losing.
And even then, like Odell said, or Ocho too, he said that people go there for entertainment.
Yeah,
this is entertainment, bro.
Come on now.
Like if I'm sitting around watching the game, he better jump up in the crowd. If I paid $1,200 for a ticket,
for real,
he better jump up in there and dump the popcorn.
Better come see me for real.
For real, like that's why I love Ocho because he was like and Odell, like they're just good entertainers.
Yes,
like, they make it fun to watch. Like and then people start seeing the trends like Jettas and
Jettas,
and
my dog.
Even old boy from Pittsburgh.
Pickens,
George Pickens, like they make it fun. He's fun to watch because he do some wild stuff. You feel me? Like he do wild stuff.
Who y'all think the best receiver right now?
Right now,
I think Justin Jefferson.
I'm about to
That's
say
me.
JJ is that's my dog. LSU bound. LSU
What
my
you
dog.
what you thinking?
This year?
No,
Just in general.
Just in
Oh,
general.
in the league.
This in the league. Well, okay. Let me say this: JJ and Jamar, right here.
Yeah,
They right here.
I like CD, bro.
You like it? Yeah.
CD,
He top
but
three.
look,
He top
but look,
three.
that's why I say
He
like
top three.
Jettas is. He's number one, like definitively, probably yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But Jamar and CD, they can go either way, in my opinion.
I have to give it to Jamar before I give it to CD. Only because
But CD got Joe. I'm sorry, CD got Dak. Which Dak ain't a bad quarterback. He just slightly above average.
Yeah.
But you got Joe Burrow who gonna sling it.
but you ain't
We
got no line.
No
You
line.
ain't got no line.
He ain't
Dallas
got no
always
time
had
to
a
Dallas
line.
ain't really got a line like that no more.
Dallas always.
We
had
got
a
two
line,
rookies
though.
start. We had two rookies. We had a rookie center and a tackle. And the left guard, Tyler Smith, he was a second year player.
I think what hinders y'all is, well, not hinders y'all, but what makes it seem a lot more drastic when y'all lose is the fact that y'all are America's team. Y'all, the projection and the predictions every time is Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl. Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl.
we don't have a number 2 definitive receiver. So
Y'all don't.
it's hard for
Y'all don't.
CD to. It's harder for CD to. Okay, I can't say that because he gets like 100 catches a year.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying like it's harder for him to get open than Jamar because Jamar got T. Higgins, Tyler Higbee at the tight end,
I mean, but
and
this,
we don't have a running back.
but when you think about it though,
Rico ran for 1,000, but he's not a. That's not a player that you be like.
I can't stand the Cowboys.
He gonna put
Same.
it on the ground. I can't stand him either.
I can't stand them. And I don't even
Stressing
have no
everybody
reason. I don't have no reason to not like them.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's the fact that
Fans.
everybody like them.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
kind of how I
no.
felt about New England, bro. Like New England.
oh
was-
man, I hated New England.
niggas couldn't even tell me. Like
Oh,
Brent,
man.
then you ain't had a hot dog in Gillette. You talk about
Tell me
you a
where you
Patriot
been
fan.
in New England,
Boy, no way.
and I tell you where
I
I've
said,
been.
what's the name of the stadium before y'all get
Down
there?
the
real.
And now you don't see them no more. Everybody a Chiefs fan or something now.
Oh yeah, don't get me started.
Let's get the topic going,
Yeah.
man. Today, man, we did the whip.
We got a good one.
PODCAST.
Yes, sir.
Today, man, we gonna
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
y'all about. We got a bunch of great men in the room. We're gonna talk about today how important is emotional intelligence
Yeah.
in a man.
Yeah.
Emotional intelligence. We can look it up. We can put it probably up here. You feel me? We can put it up there, whichever y'all want to go. But today, I want to ask y'all in 2 different scenarios as far as in relationships and how you act amongst others. So you act 2 different ways in a relationship and amongst your homeboys.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like even though some things can be triggering, right? So my understanding of emotional intelligence is how, as a guy, how can you control your emotions? So from a relationship standpoint, I love my girl to death. I know she's a little bit more emotional than I am. That's just her nature.
Right.
And I know she's hearing this right now. So she's going to be like, oh, yeah. What are you going to say? But nah, I'm saying that I'm more in charge of, and I learned this from not even her dad, my dad too, and your dad, and the men I've come across is how well are you able to not react when they're reacting, or how well can you diffuse a situation to be like, okay, I was wrong or you were wrong. I'm not mad at you. Don't let me, just because you yelling don't mean I gotta match your tone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Et cetera, stuff like that. So as a married man, how do you go about that? And when we pivot to Samaj, you can say as a newly single man, how have you learned to be more emotionally intelligent coming out of a relationship? And I'll speak from a person in a relationship.
For me, being married, just like there's ebbs and flows, right? So it's like
Elaborate on that.
there's ups and downs
There you go.
all constantly,
There you
right?
go.
Even when certain things happen, even when it's just the smallest things, because women, not to say this to be like sexist or anything, are more emotional
Right.
creatures and emotional beings, right? More so emotional than us. We do have emotions, but we compartmentalize that and then go based
Think
off
of
of logic
logic.
and rationality,
Right.
right? So just being able to be more emotionally intelligent is something that's important to have in a marriage, a relationship and a marriage, because you have to understand, just because they're frustrated and they're speaking in a certain tone, or they're reacting a certain way or acting a certain way, does not mean that is towards you, right? Like, you didn't do anything wrong. It's just that in this situation, I'm frustrated with whatever situation I'm dealing with. My job is to come in and let her be who she is in this moment, have that moment, be emotional, but also give her the reassurance that, like, I'm here. So, like, I understand that, you're frustrated. It's not me. I'm here for you. I'm here with you. So whenever you want to talk about it, or when you want to tell me, what's going on, then I'm here. But I want to give you, the room to react, or just let it out. Because if you hold that in and it builds up over time, one little small thing could set it off, and it'll be something much worse and much bigger than what it was initially.
Yeah. So how do you pivot in that same instance, right? Even when your significant other, your wife, when she might be in the wrong this time, and you got every reason to react the way you want to react. In that same instance, how do you, I ain't gonna say correct behavior, but also say, like, hey, you made a mistake, it's okay. Like, how do you do the reverse side of that? So saying, okay, you're overwhelmed, so you can calm down, but you were wrong about something,
right? And
I'm telling you about it, and now you're sad about it. How do you flip that narrative?
So for me, I like to be able to. I don't argue, and my wife knows that. I don't like to argue. That's just not me. That's just not my character. It's more draining to argue than it is to have a conversation. So
what's your saying? People
it's not us against each other. It's us against the problem.
Right. That was some game.
My thing is, when she's in the wrong, I don't want to make her feel like that I'm putting her down or kicking her while she's down. Like, now I'm gonna talk stern to her, but I'm gonna still give her the grace and the leniency of being able to talk to her and not just yell at her and talking. There's a difference between talking at someone and talking to someone.
Right.
So I would never talk at my wife, because I understand if there's a situation where I'm in the wrong, I don't need her talking at me, because I'm not going to receive that. All I'm going to do is just get more defensive, and then I'm not going to want to take accountability, because I'm defending myself. You see what I'm saying? So by talking to her, just to kind of help her understand where she did go wrong, or where there was something that I disagree with, because a disagreement isn't always wrong or right. It's just we see the same thing,
which is okay,
right? And it's perfect to have. It's okay to have disagreements and to say, well, let's just agree to disagree, but I still love you. You know what I mean?
You know that meme was like, I'm right, you're wrong.
Yeah, I see that.
I sent that to Destiny. I was like, I'm right, you're wrong.
It's just a good way to have a disagreement.
It's childish, but it's like
that.
It can solve problems.
Yeah,
like when you think about it, it's like, this is so funny. I can't believe we're doing this, but that little moment of just that funny part behind it can like ease a lot of tension.
Yeah, for
you know
sure.
What I'm saying? Yeah,
I mean, I guess that's my thing. I want to be able to convey how I'm feeling and what I feel and what I don't agree with to her, in the sense to where she will be able to understand it. Because if I'm yelling at her, she's not going to receive that. And I think hardly anyone receives something when they're being yelled at or when they're being talking at.
They're going to take it negatively.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, it's not, they already feel bad about it. If they don't, then that's a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Then it spark them up.
Yeah, and my job is to get them to get her to understand, like, hey, this is how I feel about this situation. This is why I think that it made me feel this way, and this is why what you did made me feel that way. And so just having that conversation and being able to understand where I'm coming from, and then also where she's coming from, because there may be something that she was thinking, or how she felt in the moment that made her react or do that thing, and so, like, just trying to understand each other and come to understand, like, it's not it's not us against each other. It's just us against whatever we're feeling in the moment.
And even in the same sense, like, you know, being married, bro, as I said, like previous episode, is like you just keep learning to love this different version of this person because like y'all at the age y'all is now. And you 20 years from now, you're going to have to keep learning how to love that person because when you're married, y'all become one and that's a commitment.
Yep.
And that's kind of what I even try to like instill in our relationship, me and Destiny, is that, you know what I'm saying, she can correct me when I'm wrong. I can correct her when she's wrong. Now, sometimes, like, you know, the magnitude of it, whatever the case might be.
Yeah.
But I always try to, like, listen. You know what I'm saying? I can tell her, like, sometimes, like, now, I can just be like, I'm wrong. You right. And she'd be like, hold up. And she'll just stop talking. And I'll be like, no, because, like, to be honest, like, I can say when I'm wrong, and I'm okay with that. Sometimes I can be a little stubborn, and I'm learning to fix that because I still, I see, like, things from my perspective, so I got to be like, okay, yeah, you're right. But like, give me like 20 minutes. I'll be like, damn, she right. Okay. Yeah. But I ain't like too prideful to be like, we good. You know what I'm saying? Like, not say I'm wrong. And as far as, and when we pivot back to like, at least me being in a relationship, that, you know, I learned that, and she's helped me grow in my own ways, like being more emotionally intelligent. Like, she a little bit more on the feisty side. Like, y'all know Disney. She can be, you know, real up. And you watch the show, you for sure know Disney. But like, you know what I'm saying? I'm more laid back, cool, calm, reserved, straight. I'm kind of always been more of a nonchalant person, but that's just my personality and I can't help it. But, you know, and I had to slowly, you know, plant seeds in her and tell her, like, it's not me that I don't care or I don't get excited. It's just like, I'm excited. I can be excited with a straight face. I can be mad with a straight face. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes she can tell, and sometimes, like, you know, she do correct me, like, you're being mean or you're doing this, you're doing that. And I, you know, at the time I'd be like, I don't see it. Then I'll be like, okay, yeah, she right. So, you know, learning how to, you know, be okay with, I hear her in there talk. Yeah, like learning how to like allow the power to shift, if that makes sense. Like, I ain't gonna say it's even power. It's just like, it's okay with me being wrong. Like, I'm okay with being wrong. And I'm okay with her being right. And even if she is wrong about something, I'm not gonna correct her in front of a bunch of people. I'm gonna tell her, you know, behind closed doors. She'll listen to me. I'll listen to her. Now, we may be a little salty with each other for a little bit before we get over, because at the end of the day, we kind of even had his own little motto in our relationship. Is like, it's Destiny and it's Corey. So like, I know that she don't do stuff out of ill will. She do it in my best interest. Now, does it always capitalize that way on both sides? No. But at the end of the day, I'd be like, that's my girl. I know she don't mean no wrong by what she say. Because there's things in my behavior to this day that she helped me clean up. And I'm still learning how to work on those things. But I'm grateful that, like, I don't, emotionally, intelligence-wise at least, that I'm not a yeller. I'm not a hollerer, like you said. Like, you know what I'm saying? We do go back and forth, but I can talk to her in a tone where it's like, it's not offensive to her, and I don't want to yell at her just because I don't want nobody yelling at my daughter. Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, and then things like that happen. Don't get me wrong. Like, I've heard relationships and marriages, people yell, but I feel like you can get your point across without raising your voice or, you know what I'm saying, making it, you know, talking down to somebody or trying to demoralize them. And even when you said to the point of like making somebody feel bad, her and I had a talk about that, and it's like, I tell her like certain things, like, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm just telling you how I feel. Now, if that makes you feel bad, I understand, because I can't control how you feel.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm telling you how it make me feel. And if it does make you feel bad, I'm sorry, but that's not my intention. I'm just getting it off my chest, essentially, to where I'm like, okay, I didn't like that. And if it makes you feel bad, I'm sorry, but I'm not trying to kick you when you're down, etc. Like, I'm just trying to tell you, hey, I didn't like that. And it's the same thing vice versa. Like, I'll be like, damn, now I feel bad. Yeah. And it's the same thing vice versa. So, like, I like how we can talk to each other, and it doesn't necessarily lead in us just, like, wanting to uppercut each other every time. I know sometimes people want to beat my head into the wall, and that's okay. Yeah. But, you know what I'm saying, I'm glad that I'm emotionally immature enough to be able to have a conversation with her and not get mad, like, immediately, or learn how to, you know, be able to talk when I'm upset, or say I don't like this, or, you know, be too passionate or get too deep into the woods about the problem. I'm thinking like, okay, well, how can this not happen again, so we can mitigate this and communicate this, that way it doesn't happen. And even if it does happen, like you say, we're human, making mistakes, but just being able to communicate your feelings effectively, because there's going to be times in the world, and every time that everybody in this room, bro, as men, we're going to be tested. And if you the one hollering like a female, you not the dude I want to be around.
Yeah.
Because I tell people that on the game, I'd be like, bro, how's you yelling? Why do you have to yell? Like, some of the greatest statements ever said was never yelled. Like, people, like judges, right? When they say 5 to 99,
that's
life.
it. Yeah.
That's it.
It ain't yell. They just like, well, the power
That's what
is
it is.
and speak like it's more power in you not yelling. Like some of the, and even the people you respect the most, I bet we can all say that's like they've been some of the most quietest people. But when they speak, you listen.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing as a man. Like, I feel like some of the wisest people on earth have the greatest balance of emotional intelligence, and I feel like that's great to be able to be carried on in your relationship, marriage, and etc. as we grow. What about you, bro?
And it take time. So
for sure.
me personally, I was really like nonchalant through the relationship. I was in a relationship for 7 years. So like it was a lot of growing, but I was a kid at most of the relationship. So like I didn't have the maturity to understand I need to communicate. I need to listen too while I'm communicating. I need to be transparent. It was a lot of things that I had to work on because I'm so nonchalant, but when I'm there, I'm crash out. Absolutely. I'm crash out much. Like I'm tripping.
Yeah.
But I had to learn like she was different. The way that she thinks and processes things were totally different.
Yeah.
In a relationship, you got to learn your partner. So like once you learn your partner, it's certain ways that you handle it. And like being a kid, what we learned, treat others how you want to be treated. You know what I'm saying? So it really took a lot for me to learn because I had to heal myself and try to, why is the relationship not going where I want it to go? You know what I'm saying? And me sitting back and like really evaluating it, I was like, I have to heal myself and work on these type of things and what I need to be doing to get in the area that I can actually build this person up.
I love that, yeah.
And it you know, it goes through ups and downs. You have the relationship and it be like, sometimes you happy, sometimes you sad, you know what I'm saying? You never gonna be consistently happy throughout the thing.
Never.
You have to choose love at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like if you don't choose love, like for real though.
Absolutely.
And it took me years for me to actually feel it because I always felt like I'm too P, I'm too player. You do this, I'm trying to win. Like I'm petty as hell.
Yeah.
You can't be petty when you trying to really love somebody or actually go somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to have a foundation and y'all got to be able to communicate. But also while you doing that, I feel like one thing that kind of messed me up throughout the relationship was we didn't bring God into it, or you don't bring God into the relationship.
For sure.
Like you can't just hit them up when shit going bad. You got to be all the way in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he knows your heart at the end of the day. You know, but the emotional intelligence, basically, I think it come from him. You know what I'm saying? Like it come from him, and it takes time for you to actually sit back and be accountable and make sure that you're doing those right things. Because at the end of the day, if you're not good with yourself, how can you be bringing better to somebody else?
Facts.
Don't happen.
Facts.
And even if you think about it from the standpoint of, as you said, like a lot of mistakes that I think we all made is like not putting God at the center. Because if you realize that for instance, the hierarchy in a relationship, when it comes to putting God first, then there's your wife, then there's your kids. Because if you flip that order in any type of way, it won't work.
It won't work.
Because if there's no, for instance, like if your kids are above your wife, then there's no communication to fall down to the kids. If you don't put God first, and you don't know how to lead, and the Bible teaches you how to lead. And like he said, as he's reflecting on some of the things that he wish you can do better, things that you understand now, is that, you didn't know that at that time. So now that you sought that knowledge, and now that you're reading the word and you understand it, like there's peace in God, right? There's peace in the religion. You know what I'm saying? There's peace that he offers. And once you understand that overwhelming peace, you understand as a man how to lead your family, how to provide for your family. Because if you try to do it any other way, it doesn't work.
It ain't gonna line.
So once you learn how to, now that you know, it's essentially how to lead your daughter, how to lead your family, right? Everything else is copacetic, because now that you know, as a man, you can't be quick to anger. That's the same thing as Jesus. He's not quick to anger. And once you learn how to not to be quick to anger, you know you don't have to crash out. You don't have to lose everything in one moment because you're mad for 10 seconds.
So
essentially, right? So you learn that in the word, especially as you get more closer to God, bro. And I recently just got this way. I say probably like maybe 10 months ago. But when I started dating Destiny, it's like she pushed me to another level. Like, okay, well, she there and I'm there too. But now, like, we kind of like, she know God just as well as I do. And her father knows God. My dad knows God. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Once you learn how to how God wants you to operate in a relationship, in a marriage. Sorry, marriage, because there's no relationships in the Bible. But in marriage, you learn that there's peace there, and right, you learn as a man, like, gotta control my emotions. I can't be thinking with my other head. I can't be indulging in lust. I can't get these spirits of Jezebel women. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you run across these things. And sometimes, bro, some people are really sent in your life to teach you the man that you need to be. And it's crazy that it happens, because sometimes it'll be lips, hips, and fingertips and everything that you want.
Facts.
But it not, you reflect on, like, that girl was the worst thing I could ever pick. You know what I'm saying? Once you find a woman that has that equal minded of thinking, like you said, you learn what not only the man that you want to be for your daughter and have her to be an example to want and follow, you know what I'm saying? You learn what you want to go for in the future.
And having once I had my daughter, that's what kind of like cleared my mind up, because like she needs to see love, you know what I'm saying? So like, how can I be showing her love and be the best dad ever when don't have no self-discipline? I'm doing certain things where I know I shouldn't be doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fact.
It just take a lot for you to like really sit back and experiences. You know, experience is the greatest teacher for me. Like, so like it take time, and once you get there, you get there. You know what I'm saying?
And just like you said, like, I'm sorry,
no,
I cut you off, but I'm saying, like, I feel like too what you're saying. And I'm the only one here without a kid, but I learned so much from like men like y'all, because I want to be the guy that my daughter runs into. I ain't saying he got to be in his final form, but I know what I bring to the table, and I know how much I love my woman. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? I want them to look at her like when she's talking and be like, wow, she's so pretty, or wow, she clothes like this, or like, you know what I'm saying? I want them to be just as obsessed and so confidently speaking about this person as my daughter, right? And I want her to see, like, okay, if my man don't open the door, my daddy did for my mama, that's the standard. Because I don't, bro, if I'm gone, like, I expect you to protect and do everything that, if I'm gonna give you my daughter, and I really think about that concept, when you get married, he's literally giving you the daughter. Like she leaves, just like as you leave your family, right? As you leave your family, I want this guy to be emotionally intelligent, physically able to defend himself, has morals, has standards, and knows God, puts God first, and can check her with a word, like, check her with the. You know what I'm saying? Me and Destiny even joke about how, women submit yourself to your husband. And I'll be like, remember? What he said?
Hey, look. That's what he said. I ain't say that. That's what he said.
Dristy said, I don't know, man. That's what they said. So, like, I want her to be understanding, able to, use the word and reflect that upon the man that she's with and hold him accountable and be like, no, this is what my dad showed me, and if he can be better than me, that's what I would love. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted y'all's perspective as men with kids, especially daughters, and one with a son. You know what I'm saying? Now that you know these things, and now that you're building on these things ourselves every day, because we are our own races, what is your ideal? Like, what is something that you encompass that you would want to rub off on your daughter? Because at the end of the day, she's watching. You know what I'm saying?
Skinny go
first. I don't want her with no boyfriend. I don't want her with no man until she like 90. Until she like 90 something cool.
He say 90. I better be gone when she
But nah, truthfully, I just want her to know, like, have her non-negotiables and stick with it. Like, because like sometimes I feel like when we're in a relationship and get older, it's certain things that you do have to sacrifice, certain things that you have to give up, and also things that you have to bend, bend from yourself. But sometimes I feel like us as humans, we lower our standards because we try to feel like this is all I can get. This is all I can get. No, reach. Just continue to reach. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And be consistent with it. And also, my whole thing now, I think, and I try to build with my daughter, is to know I'm trying. Like, if I don't know how to fix something for her, I'm going to try to fix it. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure that you are somebody who's going to try. And I also try to learn and listen. You know what I'm saying? If she find a partner when I'm gone or something, you know what I'm saying? When she find a partner, I would hope that she sees that if he's doing anything like my dad, I could see myself with him, because obviously my dad has done everything He's made sure that I'm doing this. He makes sure that you don't have to ask for anything. If you speak, I'm not yelling at you because I don't yell at my daughter. Like, I get mad or, but it's like certain things where I learned I have to have patience. I have to have patience.
Absolutely.
And you have to be able to talk to them and be able to listen to them. My daughter is just like a mama. So it made me, like, when I sit back and look at her, I'm like, she's only 4 and she has an attitude. She has like her own personality.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have to learn to be able to deal with it. Of course, I love her with all my heart, but you have to be able to also chastise her, say certain things to get her, keep her in line, And I believe, like, sometimes when she get older, hopefully, it's certain ways that you talk to a man, certain things where you know that you're in line, not necessarily that you being like just getting yelled at or you just being soft or scary, etc. But you're able to speak yourself, but also know how to put yourself into a part where you don't do too much, where you get out of line and out of bounds with certain things, what you say. So that would be me. That's what I think, basically, from us.
For me, for having 2 and then one of each, gender or each sex is, as it pertains to my daughter, I myself, I don't want her to get with anybody that was me who was learning to be how I am now, right? So my past self, no good. You know what I mean? Now, yes. You know what I mean? And I'm of course, we all still work in progresses and stuff, and we're still evolving and stuff like that. But I want her to find someone who is better than me, right? Because if she finds someone who is better than me, then I can be content in the notion of saying, okay, now go ahead. I'm trusting you with my daughter's heart, and I want you to be able to, uphold that. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if I give her over to you, she's your responsibility now. And all that is going to fall back on you if anything ever happens. So with that, I just want her to be able to, and I hope. Because you never know, and you just trying,
true,
and you just hoping that the things that you're instilling is is going to work or going to mold their mind into being great human beings and great people, and being able to discern who you have discernment for who's good for them and who's not. Of course, every human goes through ups and downs, and they go through the growth process of being with someone or finding someone or chasing someone that's not for them, and then kind of finding themselves, right? So shit is going to happen, and I know that. I want her to be able to learn from the mistakes that she make, but also learn from the mistakes that I've made, learn from the mistakes that her mom made, you know what I mean? And be able to grow from those things, because sometimes you don't have to go through shit to learn. You know what I mean? You can watch somebody else go through shit and be like, okay, I want to make sure I steer clear from those things. As pertaining to my son, I want him to be a better version than me all around. I want him to be able to be the best, friend he can be, the best, father, best husband, best boyfriend, whatever, because I know there's no such thing as perfection. You know what I mean? Yeah. But there's always a way that we can strive for it. And as long as we striving for it, then we can try to get as close to it as possible. And for my son, right now he's a ball of energy. He's raising all hell and shit like that. But I know when he gets older, I don't want him to be how I was when I was younger. You know what I mean? How I was when I was coming up, and just thinking that, okay, I'm hearing these stories and I want to see what that's like, and just trying things. And it's just been like, okay, you put yourself in certain situations that you don't want to be in the first place. You know what I mean? So if you keep yourself and know yourself, I want them to be able to know who they are early on, and to know that they don't have to follow the crowd. They can always be themselves, and the crowd will gravitate to them. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, go ahead. And for him, that's what I want most of all, because it's, as for a woman, especially being a black woman, it's hard out here. But for a man, the world will beat you down. You know what I mean? And a lot of times we don't share those. We don't share our feelings and shit like that, because we're like, I don't want to bother nobody with it. You know what I mean? So I'd rather hold it in and just be who I am, and just be this stoic figure to the people around me, but I'm going through it. You know what I mean? I want my son to be able to express himself in the manner that in which he should, and then also be able to find someone he can, like, whether it's me, his mom, his sister, or confide in a partner, to say, like, look, these are the things that I'm going through. This is how I feel, and the world is weighing on me right now. But at the same time, I'm still good, but just in this moment, this is how I'm feeling. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, with being emotionally intelligent, we have to also be able to convey how we feel and be able to tell people like this shit ain't easy. Like, this shit called life is not easy. And even though I look like I'm good all the time, even though if I tell you I'm good, sometimes I'm not. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm going through it, but at the same time, I'm doing what I need to for y'all, so I can't always show that I'm going through it. Sometimes I got to put on that suit of armor and just be like, shit, it is what it is. I get stabbed, I get pierced by a couple arrows. I'm gonna keep on walking and keep on doing what I need to for my family. That way they can, progress. But yeah, that's kind of my thing.
So how do y'all feel like emotional? So we just spoke about it from a relationship standpoint, marriage standpoint, and a single standpoint. How do y'all feel like it's important when you are in a friendship standpoint? So, when you're amongst your friends and, I don't know, say to the point of y'all in a situation where something could be tested, right? And your homie crashing out and you sitting there like, I got a wife and 2 kids at home and I got a daughter at home. I can't be out here playing with y'all. You feel me? So how important do y'all feel like it is to, or what certain qualities too do y'all look for? Like when you progress, I mean, we all been friends since high school. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, when you say you do come across new people, you know what I'm saying? Is that something that you look for? Is that something that, even in a work standpoint, like, you know what I'm saying? Is that something that you look for, to be around people who know how to control themselves when things go hard, as things get, funky or whatnot? So what's your takes?
Yeah, because, like, I learned, like, in friendships, it's almost just like a damn relationship.
Absolutely, bro.
Y'all gonna have agreements, disagreements. You might get mad at the person and, like, get mad, but, like, it's certain things where y'all have to have like-mindedness of a certain thing. Like, sometimes I know I ain't just antisocial, but I'm antisocial. Like, I really like my peace, like my space. I like being out with people, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But also I really like my space. So sometimes, like, I reach out to people, I reach out to them, etc., and I have to see, like, would they reach back out to me? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I done reached out a bunch of times and it end up like, damn, who really reached out for me? Because I know sometimes I'm fucked up, you know what I'm saying? Truthfully, you know what I'm saying? But of course I put on a shield and be like, I'm good. Like, ain't nothing wrong with me. But the whole time, I'm vulnerable. I'm losing it. And as a man, I feel like I grew up and I was supposed to be solid as hell. Absolutely. And I can't show no emotions, So it's kind of hard to have when I have, like, certain friend groups that ain't thinking like that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, sometimes now I have friends who are somewhat in the same area, same space as me. We relate. Yes. I know, like, I done had different times where it's party friends, you know what I'm saying? They don't reach out to me for nothing but a party, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Then I have certain people who want to talk to me about God, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, which ones is going to be beneficial to me, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, we can be in this space and be wasting all our energy. Yeah. I ain't got time to waste my energy. Yeah. Like, I don't have no time to waste my energy. I'm too old. Like, you feel me? So we just got to, like, as a friend, I feel like I look for people who's like-minded, who has goals, and I see that their actions are aligning with what they saying. And, like, I don't need to be around somebody who's constantly trying to crash out, etc., because all that's doing is putting me in a bad space too. I want everybody around me to be positive. I want people I don't give a fuck about to be positive, truthfully. You know what I'm saying? So, like, now looking for friends, or I don't really just look for friends. The people who are been here, kind of been here. You know what I'm saying? And if it's somebody who's added into it, cool. But hopefully you align with the same goals that I'm aligning with. I'm trying to be successful. I'm trying to stay out the way. I want to get closer to God. I want to make sure that if I have my kids here, the way that you raise your kids is the same way I somewhat raise my kids, so that it doesn't have any the vision in it.
Yeah.
So like that's my whole thing for sure.
You spoke something right there.
For real.
For sure. Because it's like when you think about it too, like the people that's for you, we was talking about this before the episode, they gonna run into you. Yeah. And sometimes it'd be like the most like unfamiliar space or like you just somewhere like the people that wanna like take me to do stuff that I no longer have interest to. I kind of already sifted those people out of my life because they kind of already see the wave I'm on. Like, honestly, bro, it's probably like maybe I got partners, but the ones I talk to the most, like, they got my number. But like, you know, I'm like, well, as far as like, I know I got groups of people that I know. Like, okay, like for instance, like if I know I don't want to be doing the most, then the people I call the most, or like really it's just really you. You know, so I talk to you a lot, but I still got partners like. You know, LD Dalen, Coop, all them. Sure, you know what I'm saying? Samaj, like I got people that you know what I'm saying, I like being around because I do enjoy. And I ain't been around Samaj in like a minute. It probably been like 8, 9. It probably like 8, 9 years. But like we pick up like it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? And no, you good. And it's like you feel me? Like I like being around people that I can talk to about God, and it's receptive. Like you know what I'm saying? Because you feel me? Even though we ain't spoken like 8, 9, 10 years, bro. There's something in life that you older than me. You can always give me some game or whatever, and I'm always been receptive. Ever since we was kids, bro was like the older guy. You know what I'm saying? You always showed us love, cool, and now look at us now. Like we still on the same page. So I feel like everybody that sifted out just wasn't meant to be. You feel me? So I like when he said that too, because it's like the party friends or the people. I no longer even contact those people because your morals don't. Your actions don't align with my morals no more. Like I like partying, it's cool. Like, but I like doing different things. Like we the only people that I know besides You're Done Podcast that doing stuff like this. And like he been probably just as important as me and you sitting here when it comes to podcast. So like you know like and you know we had conversations, but we'll let them find that out later. But you feel me? It's just like just reinventing your heart, bro, and your mind. Like it's like people just. Don't understand that, like, bro, when you really go through some stuff and you really be sitting there by yourself and pondering and thinking, and you got the same person telling you to go do the same things that got you in the same bubble you was in before. It's like, bro, I was like, I don't need you right now. Like, I don't need that. Like, then you find peace in other ways. Like when you start talking about God, everybody can't be receptive to that because they just think of it as like, sound like my grandma, sound like this and that. But until you actually go through some stuff and you sit there and you be like, damn. That's the only person I got to talk to. That's the only person that can fix my heart. Because once you actually go through something to where, like, whether it be a death, a heartbreak, something ending really bad, any case, like whatever you lose your job, you go broke. Once you really understand that the only person that won't laugh at you, won't tell you come drink, won't tell you go do all these other vices, and you sit there and you just talk to God, like, the conversations are different. Then you actually feel yourself being healed and it's rubbing off on people and you start having different type of conversation and it feels good. You know what I'm saying? It don't feel good as you being drunk. You don't invite those things that come with being drunk. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, I always found that my solitude, whenever I can't figure something out and I pray and then it come to light, I'll be like, damn, like when I first got here, when I came back from San Angelo, I told Destiny, I'm like, damn, everything I prayed for the last 2 weeks just all came to fruition. Every single thing. Every single thing. Top to bottom. I can't make this up. So I was like, and I'm just piggybacking off what he says, like, bro, like it's just different now. Like people don't understand. Like my mindset is different, and sometimes it can be intimidating to people when you come off that way. But it's not to me intimidate you. It's just like that's not my level of thinking anymore. Like you thinking for your daughter, and you thinking for God. He rebuilding himself, which is a beautiful phase to be in, and to me, it's the most respectful phase that you can be in because a lot of men don't do that. You go. You know, go stick your thing in everything is walking. I promise you will not fail. You will not find completion in that. I strayed away from that as much as I could, and I did. And then I ran to who I'm with now, and it all paid off. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to go through that ugly phase and cry when you need to cry. And that comes a part of being emotionally intelligent. Understand you won't find your value in people. You got to find your value in yourself and God. So, you know what I'm saying? I love what he said because he really just preached something that if you receptive to it, you're receptive to it. But that's coming from a place, bro. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk to people or you hear things like that, it's good to know that just gives me like another check in the box. Like he is who he always been to us. You know what I'm saying? And even to himself, he is who he is to himself. So you know what I'm saying? That's good to hear. But it's a word in his own. You know what I'm saying? That's clear. That's real peace stuff. Like that's real talk. You know what I'm saying? So. I like that. Yeah,
that's hard.
That was dope.
Especially like talking about like the people like the certain friends that you have for certain things or whatever, or like as you progress and grow, you'll come to find like even with
your friends universal. We got universal friends.
There you go.
We are that universal friend. But go ahead.
I say this all the time. Luckily, and especially when I'm talking to like Crystal, because I know friendship is something that is not as important as relationship nowadays, right? People see friendship as like, yeah, we friends, we cool, that's my homie or that's my best friend or something, but it's so fickle and it's so fragile.
Mm-hmm.
But I like Skinny said is it's a relationship. Mm-hmm. is no different than, I mean, of course it's different because I ain't,
you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, for real. But it's no different from being in a relationship, because at the same time, I have to make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do on my end, and then I have that reciprocated to me. Mm-hmm. There's no reciprocation in that, and if there's no growth within it, just like, you meeting Destiny and you growing from, like, especially when you went off, to, join the service and stuff like that. And the first time I seen you in Hawaii, it's like it's a whole different person, mm-hmm. very mature and shit like that. And I'm pretty sure there was a moment in time where maybe I came back to Bethany or something and I was just different, or like when we saw each other again, I was different, more mature person. So it's like you have to have people in your circle who are willing to not only see you growth, accept your growth, but also grow as well and be like, damn, I want to grow too. Because I want to be inspired by my friends. You know what I mean? And I don't want to...
Even adding to what you said, I'm going to let you finish. But I was like, everybody that I have around me right now, or that I keep in touch with or have spoken to, or even has gotten, like, just being next to me, bro, like, they have things that I want.
Right.
Like kids.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wife.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's more older, more mature. He has a daughter. But we always, like, he has something that about, you know what I'm saying? He has something to offer to me that I like, and I have things to offer to him, like Skinny just as well. You know what I'm saying? Just like you, I always tell you that, like, like he has everything I want, or everything I'm going to want, or going to have. Sorry. So it's like it's like that alignment, bro. You have to align yourself for that success, because everybody, like, especially our friend group, which is extremely small, especially ours, like, well, all of ours, because you're part of my friend group. But I'm saying, like, these, like, I don't talk to everybody. I don't be around everybody because they don't have nothing to offer me.
Yeah.
So I learned, just like you said, it's like your friends and the people you keep around is like just as valuable as you are to yourself, essentially. You know what I'm saying?
Because the thing is that we all have to understand we was raised by a village. You know what I mean? The way we was raised, there were other people involved besides just our parents. So having that, you will want that for not only yourself, but you will want that for your kids. Because I want the same environment that I grew up in, where I can send my kids off to you. I can send my kids off to y'all and know that y'all are trusted with them. Know that they're in good hands. You know what I mean? And so to have those people, because not everybody is, that type of person who is ready to, have kids or whatever. But when you get there and when you get to that point, that's growth, because you'll understand and realize, like, certain things that I may be talking about or I may be going through, you may not be able to comprehend at this
at the
point
moment.
in time. But when you have your own, you'll be like, damn, I see what he was saying. You'll be like, damn, that's, this and that. And then I appreciate him telling me that beforehand and allowing me to see it for myself, because now I know what to look for, and now I know how to handle certain things. And so just go ahead.
And the thing is, you gotta, like, being a friend, you gotta be willing to not be a yes man the entire time.
Facts, bro.
Because like, you have to be able to tell somebody and be receptive of what they saying. Not all the time we see everything the same way. I was raised some way, you was raised some way, you was raised some way. But like, if we are able to speak and like kind of tell them, hey, I think that you probably was wrong right here. The thing is, it'd be so hard because, like, friends, they'll just cut it. Oh, this, you told me this, I'm not fucking with you no more. And be cool with not talking to you again. You know what I'm saying? But when you're in a relationship with a boyfriend, girlfriend, what you do? Y'all have that argument, you work it out or something.
Yeah.
You know, you try to work it out. But a
Facts.
friendship is the same thing.
Yeah.
And I know, like, I used to be around some people who was just like, just tell me, yeah, you doing that's right, and I know that this shit wrong.
Yeah, fact.
I know this shit wrong. So how you gonna keep on telling me that? Like, I appreciate you, right or wrong, I feel you, but like, I need somebody to also hold me accountable of certain things and tell me, hey, you doing this wrong, bro. Like, this is what it is.
real.
Because sometimes I get lost in myself.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
I don't want to be lost in myself. If I have somebody who's here, if I'm falling, pick me up, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Pick me up, bro.
Absolutely, bro.
Sweetie, that's
We all
what's
need
needed.
that, bro. As men, we are looked to as being strong, stoic, and masculine, which we are. But we're not looked at as of being like emotional or having emotions or having the lack thereof emotions. You know what I mean? Or not expressing or being able to express because we didn't learn those things. And if we did, it was only to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Like the last time you'll see one of us cry, is probably when, you know, either someone has passed or when we lose in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like something you put your blood, sweat, and tears into. So like the same thing goes for like friendship, relationships, and shit like that. It's like we have to be comfortable around the people that we surround ourselves with to be able to be vulnerable enough to say, I'm gonna just let it all down because I know they're not gonna judge me. They gonna know understand what I'm going through, and I'm going through something, and just be there for me.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? And so the thing is that I think, as far as being emotionally intelligent, is also having a group that you can rely on, and just have them just be there when you don't feel at your best. You know what I mean? Because we don't feel at our best all the time. We go through this world, ain't nobody perfect, ain't nobody, you know, absolved of feeling pain, feeling hurt, you know, being sad or anything like that. So just having a group to like be like, because you have your, you know, your spouse or whatever, but having that friend group that understands what you're going through outside of your spouse, just being like, bro, we got you. You know what I mean? Like, whatever it is, we got you. Don't worry about nothing. You let it out. You know what I mean? If you feel like you can't go here and do that, then come here and do that.
And one thing I value about, especially all men that's around me, and I know I cannot be your friend, is if I can't tell you when you're wrong. Kind of like we already encompassed. But I know that's like that's the end all be all. Like if you can't come to me and tell me I'm wrong, sorry, you can come to me and tell me I'm wrong. But if I can't do that to you, we can't be friends because I know me. Like, I'll hold people to a standard, the same standard that I want to be held to. So if you tell me I'm doing something wrong, I'm going to listen to you. And I'll be like, okay, that can help me be better. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of guys don't like that because it's like, you think it's like, they think of it as a competition. Like, no, bro, I'm not trying to be in competition with you. I'm just saying, like, you could have did this better. You probably never should have said this, X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? But I know that I'm not receptive to people who don't understand that concept. It's like, it's not that I'm not being rude to you, but as men, I feel like it's okay for me to correct you. You feel me? Like, if I'm tweaking or I never should have said that, tell me that. I ain't going to fight you. I'm definitely not going to fight nobody. But I'm saying, like, to the concept, like, I'm not going to take it there because I mastered. I ain't going to say I mastered. I'm learning to master even more and more emotional intelligence, but I'm definitely not the quick, you know, I used to go straight to 10 because I'm light skinned. You feel me? Like, I'm they already gonna play with me, bro. So I'm like,
I got a chip on my shoulder.
I even think of it like, you feel me? Just like, you feel me? It's just not worth it. So I'm around, you know, successful people, successful men, successful fathers, and I learned that, you know what I'm saying, we can't just be out here I can't just be out here doing whatever. So,
and sometimes some people don't really be good friends. Like, you have to learn how to be a good friend too, you know? Because, like, sometimes you can't, I'm telling you something that ain't I'm telling you out of the kindness of my heart and my trust in you to being vulnerable that you got me, or you could tell me this, but not for you to be doing this and then judging me on the other end or telling everybody your business, you know. A lot of people don't really be friends. Like,
they just want to know what you got going on.
They just want to know what you got going on.
Just like Facebook, like when people go put all these stuff on, I'm like, people don't care about what you're saying. They care about what you got going on. Like me, if you come to me with a concern, I'm going to listen to you, give you game if I can't offer any. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to reassure you, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just me, though.
I guess, especially with being, you know, held accountable by friends and stuff like that, is I'm already trusting y'all enough to be in my circle, right? I'm already trusting y'all enough with me saying, like, these are my brothers. These are the motherfuckers that I'm riding with, right? Yeah. Fortunately for me, I grew up with these motherfuckers. And so if you can't take being held accountable by one of us, then there's an issue because you still have growing to do. And if you choose not to grow, then you might not be right for this friendship because we're not in the business of, being stagnant. We in the business of growth and progression.
Yeah, for sure.
So if there's no growth or there's no, attempt to grow, because we all need help every now and then. If I'm, seeing something one way and then Corey can come in and see something another way and be like, hey, bro, maybe try this or maybe don't do this because it's coming off as this. You know what I mean? Then I can see that and be like, damn, I ain't look at it that way. So now I have another perspective to go off from and then make the necessary adjustments and changes and be like, okay, let me try this next time. Yeah. Because now I have somebody who's telling me like the way that I went about it wasn't the correct way or probably wasn't the best way to go about it.
Yeah, because people can see like things in you that you don't see about you as an artist.
For sure.
I mean, like just like him, he's an artist. Like people can tell you like, I like when you hit this flow. I like when you hit this dynamic. I like how you kept it at this many bars before you swung it this way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like there's beauty in correction for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I love when people can tell me like, hey bro, you can do this different, especially as somebody in fashion, right? Like you keep that look going, keep that dynamic going because it's different. Because one day you just jumped off the porch and started doing what you did.
Right. And
whether people saw you didn't seek acceptance, but the people around you accepted you, so that made you be more confident out in the world about people that you don't care about as much, right? But hearing that critique from other people every time we go out, they'd be like, "I like that, I like what you got going on," because it's different, right?
Yeah.
But if somebody were to offer you some game, I know as your friend and as your brother that you won't take that critique as like bad. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You won't be combative, and that's another thing that as males, especially when we speak on emotional intelligence, is that combative nature is what has to go. Because as a man, you cannot be combative. You cannot, because that you can't be the head of your household, head of your family, and be combative as when somebody try to correct you. Imagine you got 4 little girls running around.
Yep.
And they telling you, Daddy, I don't like this. Daddy, I don't like that. Daddy, I don't like this. I don't like when you do that. I don't like when you raise your voice. That's 4 different personalities. Yeah. And if you can't be able to take that and receive and count your wife, that's 5. That's 5 different personalities. You know what I'm saying? If you can't take that, what they're telling you, I don't like when you cook my pancakes like this. I don't like when you do this. If you ever hear about what you don't like and take that as them being ungrateful or rude, they're just telling you this is what I don't like. And you're the man, I'm coming to you because you're supposed to fix it. You're the problem solver. You're the belt. You're the enforcer. This is your household. You come to it. You know what I'm saying? I always say there's a difference between having a man in the house and a man of the house. It's 2 different. And if you're there, you're there. Yeah. Let's go ahead and get to some quote of the day freezing.
Let's freezing question.
We are out of time.
Yeah, freezing.
That was a good one.
That was great. We got deep into it.
Yeah, for sure.
Freezing question. Let's do this. If there was something that you were that you could change about yourself, right? Whether it be it now, that you believe that was in the past hindering you, or whether you be it, trying to have foresight of what it would be or what you think it would be, what would it be that you would try to change or try to make sure that you don't do in future, or don't do again?
Let Skinny go first.
When I was younger, I'd say, and it's still something I want to work on, but being complacent and comfortable. Because I feel like when I was younger, I was just so comfortable where I was at. It made me move at a slower pace. And like now I strive for certain different things. Like I want to have different goals that I'm meeting, and I want to have a timeline of certain things that I'm meeting. Back then it was just like, I'm so comfortable, I'm cool. It ain't that bad. Like I can do this and stay at that spot for 5 years. Why did I do that when I could have been doing something that been benefiting me? You know what I'm saying? And that was like something that I had to sit back and like work on myself on, because like my parents used to be like, you moving too slow. Yeah. I'm thinking, hell nah, I'm just moving because I'm staying at this place because I'm good here. Yeah. But I could have got better. Yeah. I could have did way better. I swear to God. I worked at Foot Locker for like 6 years.
I remember that, yeah.
Only time I made some money was on a release day. You get what I'm saying? Like on a $300 check.
Yeah.
$400 check, and you know what I'm gonna do? Buy some shoes.
Yeah,
I ain't got no check. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when I sat back and my people used to tell me, quit doing that. You know, get a different job, do something. I was just comfortable with what I was doing. I'm like, I ain't really paying no bills. I'm getting what I want out of it, but I should have been striving for way more.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say at a quicker speed because God got everything at the time and He got it on time.
Right. Yeah.
But I needed to be moving and stop being so comfortable, because I feel like a lot of us do a lot of things and we're comfortable that we'll never take that leap out to do what you want to do. Yeah. So like that's why like when I look at the podcast, I'm proud of y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because y'all are doing it. You know what I'm saying? Even the hardest thing really sometimes is to do is to plan it and then do the jump.
Absolutely.
But y'all are doing the jump and everything is aligning how it's supposed to be aligning. And just staying consistent. If you stay consistent, you probably get the goal more so than anything, because sometimes consistency beat talent.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
But you have.
You just a part of the pod, bro. It's us, bro. Don't get that confused.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, for sure that.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna let you
go. Something that I would change, or something that I, probably want to, just make sure I continue to steer away from, is not taking or walking through the doors of opportunity. You know what I mean? As younger, I used to feel like, there would be doors of opportunity to do certain things, and feeling like inadequate, or feeling like, damn, motherfuckers gonna clown me, or like, damn, it's conflicting with my schedule, but if I can make it work, I can make it work. But it's just what in myself, I didn't believe in myself at that time. So at that time, I'm like, damn, I'm not good enough. So why would I walk through this door if I'm not prepared? And it's like, nah, sometimes you have everything that you need to do to be able to walk through that door and be good on the other side of that. And so I don't want to ever, like, if there's another door of opportunity that opens up, I don't ever want to close that door, because God opened it for a reason. Right. So if I can just walk through them and continue to walk one after another, it'll stack up, and I'll continue to do, great things, and be where I want to be. You know what I mean? I mean, we all strive to be great in certain things. We all strive to be, further than where we are, right? But we're here, and that's just, a stepping stool, a stepping point. And so I just found myself just not applying myself to certain things just because the door of opportunity was open, but I didn't believe in myself, if that makes sense. But, that shit is dead. So I wanted to make sure that shit stays dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but for me, like, like, I always think of it as like something I would have changed. I necessarily wouldn't want to change anything because I love where I'm at in life. Right. But I wish I would have been more confident when I was younger, because I was so busy comparing myself to my peers that I didn't realize like everything I had to offer. Right. And I had to learn how to be like, I feel like if I would have understood God's will a little bit more at a younger age, and I would have understood that there's like, I have a uniqueness that God brought to the earth, and my purpose is to use that uniqueness and whatever that person may have to catch the football or be a little bit more studious than I am. That's their purpose on earth, and I need to learn how to let them live their purpose and not envy their purpose. Yeah. Because I feel like that was the enemy making me shed light on what I didn't have, and too busy passing up what I do have and what I do bring to the table. And I just need to be able to find comfort in the rod and the staff, as the Bible says, and just be knowing that, God is protecting me. Everything that I have is what I should have, and the strength that I've been provided is what God allowed me to be. The strength that He's giving me is the strength that I should have. Yeah. So like, I don't have to look at things as if, I wish I had what they had. It's like, okay, it's what I got. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What about what I got? You know what I'm saying? My cup is just as full as his. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at the cup as, if it's half empty, you know what I'm saying, or if it's half full. Like I got just as much to the table you bring. I probably just don't have the showcases like you, but I have something to offer. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying, I just was so focused on the visual concept of, I hope I can go out there and catch touchdowns or tackle the football like this person or that person. And I wish that I can go to school and it can click like this person and that person. But also realizing that I have value in other places that can be so much more valuable than a temporary phase in my life. So football is a little part of my life. School is such a little part of my life. Yeah. And, you know, just little things like that. But I have value in, you know what I'm saying, charisma or things that I hear from people, or being a great son, a boyfriend, a brother, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's so much more valuable to me than the things I used to envy that don't even matter anymore. You know what I'm saying? Don't even matter. And whenever I become a father, I think about, like, I can only imagine what my toolbox is going to look like. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's just things like that. But I wish I wouldn't change anything, but probably, if I had an option to, it would probably be confidence and just being comfortable with that and what God gave me, and, you know, being behind the shepherd, if you will, and being led by God, and allow God to lead me throughout my purpose, and not look at where I'm at right now, but look at where I'm going.
Yeah, facts, bro.
Most definitely.
Boy, preaching.
Yeah, man. That's
let's
we can wrap it up.
Yeah,
we can do a quote of the day.
Let's do a quote of the day. Frostbite of the day, man. Frostbite of the day. I mean, shit. You said a good mouthful.
My bad.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
I ain't mean it yet.
Nah, go ahead.
How about this? I'll just say, I won't seek validation from a world that crucified a perfect man. How about that?
Boom. There you go.
That's perfect. Right
there you go.
I just thought about that one. Yeah,
that's a hard one. Shit, that boy was preaching.
That
boy was preaching.
Yeah,
well, man, that's episode 13 of the DipdNWhipd Podcast, man. I'm your host, Hoff with the Sauce.
Hey, man, Trevor Clever, have young have,
and my dog Skinny, man.
Skinny.
Episode. Y'all might be seeing him a lot more than
for sure.
Expect. So, yeah, y'all keep on tuning in, and we're gonna see y'all on the next one. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.